Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy DREADY. I'm here with my boy DJ Firestarr, and we are talking and breaking down influential records to me that I produced and just records in general. Stay here, keep it locked. I might even drop some little exclusives. Peace.
DJ Firestarr keeping it smashed.
DJ Firestarr, Spotify, influential records. I'm not new to this, all of that. I got a special guest in the building, my brother, a guy that I've wanted, super producer. I want to say he reps the UK heavy. I think he still does, but
Born and bred.
Transcended overseas. So I want to welcome him to the episode. DREADY in the building. What's going on, my bro?
What's good, man? I'm chilling, man. I'm here.
For the UK heads and the worldwide heads who lock in, I hope they're familiar with the name and they know the tag. But if they don't, give them a little bit of insight into who you are, DREADY, and what you do, and touch on. I'll let you jump straight in. I mean, touch on as well the fact that obviously you were UK based 20 years ago. You know, you made the journey to go overseas and everything there. So yeah, let's jump in, my bro.
Man said 20 years ago. Wow, that just hit me just then when you said that. Time's flying. But yeah, people may know me from, like, I was a part of Soul Solid crew, running around with those guys. I produced a hit record for Lisa Mafia called All Over. Ever since that moment, I literally worked with damn near everybody in the UK, from the Beverly Knights to Lamar's to Miss Dynamite to everyone that was around that early 2000s time I worked with. And then just kept working, and then slowly transitioned to New York. And then I was in New York for a couple of years, and now I'm in LA. But yeah, I just kind of kept working with everyone. I haven't really stopped. Like the latest stuff I've kind of done UK wise has been Parsaloo. I did My Family with Fanatix. Yeah.
They've been on the episode. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're my boys, man. I love those guys. So I did that with them. And then done a lot of stuff for Chip, you know, worked with Gigs, Wretch, you know, a lot of UK artists and a lot of American artists too. So
what made you touching on the move and the New York thing, and obviously 20 years? Like, I remember, you probably won't remember this, but we've met. I've got a photo somewhere in the stash actually with you, and it was we were at
everything's a blur.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's mad.
The young guys, right. It was a BBC One Extra Carnival event in London. And I think G Money and Nisha were the presenters at the time. You were in the building, and there was a UK artist, I'm pretty sure it was Taz, T-A-Z, one of Dizzee's guys.
That's my boy.
He was in the building as well, I remember. And that's when I met you, and it was around that time. It was around 2000, 2001. But going back to the point, talk a little bit about, because obviously a lot of producers, you know, going to be locking in, and the fact that you've made the move, and I just want to know kind of how you made that move. Obviously, come on, man, like it's
a crazy move when you put it into context like that. But I think what my plan was, because I'm originally from Birmingham, so my plan was to always come to London, and you know, because London had all the record companies, and you know, if an artist is coming in, we'd get artists in Birmingham and stuff like that. For the most part, it's London where the business is done. So I always planned to move to London and do my production there, but my plan was never to stay in London. I always had the foresight to go to America, because for the music I do, hip hop, R&B, and dancehall, like, you know, Jamaica and America influences the whole world.
Synonymous.
And that's just my goal, just to have influential music. You get me? All the other stuff is cool, but to have a point where I've you know, had a significant part of that is what I wanted. So long story short, sorry, I'm just gibbering on, but long story short, I just literally got up and just left.
Wow.
Really, like I would, like, all the times when I was with So Solid, on my weekends, I'd go to New York and just hang around and just be just because, you know, back then when you go to New York, you felt hip hop, you felt that energy, right?
Yes.
So I always wanted to feel that energy and vibe. So I'd just go to New York randomly. And then like in my life, it was kind of crazy around the time. And I just remember I just sold my house, I sold my car, and I just went. Like, you know, things come from when you just jump.
Yeah.
You can figure out the rest afterwards. I already had my production skills to a point which satisfied me at that time. So I just knew once I jumped and just carried on harnessing on my production, I'd be fine. It's just a matter of opportunities, right? You got to be in the place where they are, and that's where I started to meet people. That's where I met, you know, Rah Digga, and she introduced me to Busta, and so on and so on and so on, and you know, that's how it happened for me.
But back then, did you feel any elements? I mean, it was a different, obviously a completely different era to what we're in now, right? Did you feel a lot of frustrations as a producer, or was it just in your heart that, like you said, you was doing trips to New York? So I think once you kind of take that in and you're going over there and you get more comfortable, like you're saying, even sometimes for some people, they never even make a journey to go and experience new things overseas. Once you start getting familiar with the flavor over the other places, it becomes easier to maybe go over there and kind of permanently set up shop there. But, you know, I just want to give people a kind of insight into how the scene was back then for you as a established but upcoming producer. You obviously had visions of something bigger, which you've gone on to do. So how hard was it?
It was hard in England.
Right.
Because at the time, England wasn't really, the industry, I should say, wasn't really supporting UK dancehall. They wasn't really supporting UK hip hop. Definitely. And they still don't support UK R&B.
Yeah, I know about that one.
Right? That's a whole next thing.
Yeah,
I mean, there's certain acts that get through, but for a whole, it's not happening. So it was frustrating in England. And then I remember, like, that's why England is so creative in terms of creating genres. Because, you know, we had the drum and bass, and we had garage and grime and drill and everything like that. So back then, I remember So Solid, it was a thing where the radio stations that used to determine your chart position, and them guys was like, we ain't playing no more garage. And it was just like that. So that's when So Solid leaned more onto the hip hop stuff, where I came in. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it was very difficult. I was frustrated. The amount of times I would like go in a studio with an artist and the label they just didn't get it. They just didn't understand it. And then it was difficult coming to America because no one knows you.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Exactly.
Like, you know
and it must have been even harder back then as well. Must have been a million times
it was
now,
difficult,
obviously.
man. Yeah, it was difficult because, you know, again, no one knew me. So it was a thing where I just had to just walk with my blessings and try my luck and blessings. You know what I'm saying? So I used to put myself in situations. I used to stand outside Sony Studios, rain, sleet, snow, whatever, waiting to see a Dipset or a Mace or whoever. And then I'd be outside Daddy's house. I used to just like hop around. Luckily, I have family in New York.
Right.
So, you know, I wasn't trying to hotel it out because that would have just put me broke immediately, back then. So I was just running around. I'd just get up in the morning, hop on the train, and just be in Manhattan, walking up and down. And then I started to know people. Then I got a little manager. And then I started to get label meetings and stuff. But most of the stuff just came from my actual grinding and just meeting people. All the relationships I have now in music are very personal. I'm not really the one to speak to managers and stuff. Not that I'm above that.
No, I love that.
It's just how it's worked.
More genuine.
Like, me and Busta are like, you know, we know each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with other UK artists, like me and Chip. He just calls me. Like, you know, it's just is what it is. We talk, our kids know each other. Like, it's stuff, Chip ain't got kids, but I mean Busta. You know, our kids know each other and stuff like that. And, you know, most of these people hit me direct. So and that's just from the hard work of grinding.
And I think, I mean, the UK names, you know, I know you're tapped in with them, and obviously your relationships in the US must go far between the ones that I even know of. But the one that I wanted to touch on that you did mention, because I see it and we see it, is the one with Busta. Now, like, just touch on sort of maybe how that came about and what that means in today's climate, because obviously Busta's still Busta to the real ones that know. That guy, you know, we grew up listening to Busta, so you know, a lot of us still pay attention to what's going on. How did that relationship sort of happen, and how did that help you? I mean, how did that help you make it? You know, it opens the door, I guess, to many more relationships.
Yeah, it does. I guess. So with Busta now, it's funny actually. All the traveling I was doing backwards and forwards to New York, MySpace was bubbling, right? And Raw Digger hit me on MySpace.
Crazy.
While I was in England. So I'm busting my ass going back. You know, like nowadays it's different. You can slide in a DM or do whatever. Back then, you used to have to actually physically be there and do whatever. So Raw Digger hit me up on MySpace, or I hit her up, or I got her email. I think I got her email. Anyway, I sent her some music. She was going crazy over it. I sent her some more. And then her business partner was Busta's manager.
Right.
And so I sent him some music, and me and the business partner were talking. And then another day I'm on a flight to New York.
Right.
As I land in New York, I get like 3 voicemails from Busta. We spoke on the phone before.
Okay.
But I got like 3 voicemails from him. Yo, where you at? I heard you come in New York. So like soon as I landed at JFK, I literally went to his house with my luggage and everything and played him beats. And, you know, I've worked with everyone. I work with a bunch of people.
Yep.
Some people I'll never see again.
Yep.
Some people I've never met.
Yeah.
Like I've worked with several artists I've never met. I've never met Pusha T before in my life, but we've got songs together.
Okay.
But, and then with Busta though, we just connected. It just clicked. So from that day, you know, we went to the club and hung out, and then he was like, yo, come hang with me tomorrow. And then the day after that, and then we're in Miami together and ATL, and it just happened. Like,
what's that feeling like, bro? Like as a producer, I mean, you know, you've got, like you said, you work with so many people, but it's Busta Rhymes, bro. Like, you know, I've spoken to producers, like when I was speaking to Drummer Boy for an episode, and he was breaking down a story of linking with Jeezy, for example, and linking with T.I. and the love that T.I. like showed him in the relationship.
Yeah, he did.
Like that's I guess what we're in the game for, like moments like that, and to be able to work with people of that caliber, and you know.
Yeah, I you know what it is, Busta. For anyone that don't know, my 2 favorite rappers is Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z.
Okay,
they're my favorites. Like that's just. I've had guys that I liked before that, and you know, obviously Digger's one of my favorites, and you know, we can go back to Moni Love. Like, they're all dope, but the ones that really impacted me is Jay-Z and Busta.
Yeah.
So being at his house and just hanging with him, and then him being my friend and everything, I didn't think about it. You know, at first I didn't think about it. I'm a person that I'm very focused, and I'm in the moment. Every now and then, though, I have those moments where I just stand back and I go, wow, this is a bit nuts. And then I'm back into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like when I was working with Dre, that was the feeling I got. Because that's like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm in the studio with him, and you just have to take a moment and be like, wait a minute. I'm from Birmingham, England. This is happening. Back to it.
Yeah.
And then they get back to it. So, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I know who he is. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's my boy more than anything. Like, you know.
No, I love that. One of the coldest as well. And you mentioned Raw Digger, and I think for the people locked in that might be thinking, what are we even talking about? That's one of the coldest female rappers.
Yeah.
And they need to just go back and listen to the catalog, to be honest.
Yeah, do your Googles, man. Do your Googles.
You know what I mean? Obviously, we're going to touch on, you know, what you're working on and stuff, but let's keep it moving. Jump into a part of the series that I know we spoke off the camera, which I call this part setting the tone. So normally, you know, I have an artist on and they pick from their own, they pick their own tracks. What are we going with? And break down a little bit of a story behind the record for me, bro.
I think it would only be fair to use the record that put me on the map, and that's Lisa Mafia's All Over.
Okay.
Like when that came out, that dominated everywhere, and it was crazy for me to even just see it happening. Like everything back then was a blur to me.
Right.
Like it's only when I look back, you know, because there was so much going on, you know, just getting on and being focused and trying to stay on. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, but it's one thing to get on and another thing to stay on. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about songs, Lisa's what, 20 odd years ago, but I still just had a song out with Parsaloo the other day. It's about staying on. You know what I'm saying?
Love that. Yeah.
So that story, yeah, I'm in So Solid. They knew me as an artist. They didn't know I produced.
Okay.
And we used to have these So Solid meetings every Sunday. And it used to be like 30, 40 of us in this.
I was literally going to say, what's that, like 50 man deep?
Yeah, it's just packed. It's just packed. And then Mega was like, okay, we got this album coming. Any of you producers got beats? Let's hear some now.
Right.
And Mans was playing beats, and I took out a CD, and they was looking at me like, you make beats? And I started playing beats, and they was like, oh, snap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then Mega was like, we're going down to Hastings. We got a mansion down there, and Lisa's going to record an album. You got to come.
Right.
And I was like, fine. And then I think the night before, I got my MPC, literally went into the kitchen of my apartment, put on the headphones, and made All Over. Wrote the hook, had the whole concept, everything. And I just took it down to Hastings the next day, played it for Lisa, sang the hook. They was like, wow. Then Mega got excited. He wrote the verses with Lisa.
Yeah,
and
man.
The rest is history.
That's
how that came about.
I love that, because a lot of people, they also won't maybe understand that back then, to have a breakthrough record or a hit from the culture back then, completely different story.
A hip-hop R&B record in the UK.
Rare.
Hit record is rare. And I thank God for that, because it's rare. It is rare.
Facts.
So, yeah.
First selection, DREADY, I'm going to ask you to introduce that one for us, please, my bro.
Yeah, man. Lisa Mafia, All Over, featuring Swizz, myself, and Mega.
Big record, man. Let's keep it moving, and let's jump into a second one from you, bro. What are we going with?
I would have to say Chip and Movado.
Talk about this one.
Every girl. I've done actually on my Instagram, I've done a video on how this all came about. But long story short, I was working on Chip's album out here, Transition, and we'd already like done what we needed to do. And then he hit me randomly and was like, yo, I want to do a dancehall song. And I was like,
yes,
come on, bro. This is, yes, finally I could, get my stuff out. So I was on my way to New York or somewhere, and I made the beat on the plane with my laptop. You know, when you use the keys. For people that don't know, you can actually use the A, B, C keys to make beats. So I made the skeleton of the beat on the plane, kind of finished it up when I landed, sent it to Chip. He was going crazy. And then the long part ensued, which was getting Movado.
What did that look like?
Anybody works with Jamaicans, we move on our own pace. We ain't rushing for nobody. So that took time. I'm there. I'm calling Movado's management and this person, and literally every single day. And then one day I'm on a flight again I take a lot of flights. I was on a flight to New York. And just as I was ready to get on, not the plane, but the shuttle bus to take us to the plane, I got this email, and it came from Movado's manager, and it just had a file attached to it. And I said, oh, snap. So I download. I had to go back in the hotel and use the business center. Download all the files.
Got it.
Grab my laptop, jumped on the shuttle bus, and then I got on the plane and mixed the song. On the plane, like put all the vocals together. My son was with me too, and we just putting all the vocals together. And then as soon as I landed, I called Chip. I was like, bro, and I just sent him a clip of I think it was BlackBerry back then. If it was, I think so. Was it iPhone?
Yeah, it must have. Nah, definitely. It weren't an iPhone era, man. No,
this is 2010, 11.
Okay, I'm sure it's BlackBerry, 100%.
Probably. But yeah, I sent him a clip, and he's like, yo, got the song, and rare. And then
absolute moment.
Yeah, and then we went to Jamaica, shot the video. which made them Chip and Movado like this now. They got like good.
Yeah.
I did More Money, More Gal. And then I think Fanatix did one with Chip and Movado, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've just got a gang of songs together now. So yeah, that was a good one.
And that link up as well, you know, just is a testament to one of my favorite artists as well. He knows it because he's brought him to the club so many times. But Chip and his versatility, as we know, you know, he can do.
It's always a worry. Anytime he hits me and he's like, "Yo, I need music," I'm like, what do you send this guy? Like, you can send him hip hop, like real hip hop.
Yep.
You can send him some trap stuff. You can send him R&B music. You can send him dancehall music. So these folders he has of my beats are just humongous folders, and he's got to sit there and go through all of them. So you know, it's crazy. That's how versatile he is.
And of course, Movado bodied that record as well. Like,
he really did.
What an absolute banger, man. But yeah.
Yeah, he really did. And that went #1 in Jamaica, which was one of the proudest moments for me.
Yeah.
Like having an English produced dancehall song go #1 in Jamaica. I'm sure it's happened before, but I've always wanted that. So that was a blessing. Like, that was nice. That was nice. Yes, people, this is Chip featuring Movado, Every Girl.
Big banger, and we're going to keep it moving. DREADY in the building. What we're going with for the third selection, bro, from your catalog?
Oh, man. This is difficult because there's quite a few songs that, you know what, I'm going to pick one that people wouldn't think I'm going to pick. So the third song is Royce the 5'9", Cocaine.
Okay.
I'm going to pick that song because that song's important to me because not only did I get to work with people that I genuinely love, because I didn't do the song by myself. It was me and DJ Khalil.
Right.
And his team, Danny Seif, Sam, Eric, like there's a whole bunch of us that done it, and Nikki, who sang the vocals on it. And it was just nice working with people you actually genuinely mess with. Do you know what I mean? So that's the first. And then another thing, which is that song so important to me, is that's Royce 5'9"'s favorite song.
Okay.
Of his.
Big.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big one. And the backstory on that is I used to just go to DJ Khalil's studio every single day, and it'd be me, Nikki, Eric, Dan, Sam. There's just a whole bunch of us, and we just making music every day. Yeah. Like 4 or 5 songs every day. And Cocaine was for Eminem.
Mad. Okay.
Yeah, that was for Eminem. And I don't know if I should drop this.
Drop it, bro. The old story, man. Feed the streets. Let's give it to them.
So this is what this happens every day in the music industry. But long story short, this is what happened. We made that song and we gave it to Eminem's manager. And somehow Eminem didn't hear it. And I know he didn't hear it because the conclusion will let you know he didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So gave it to Eminem's manager, and somehow Royce got hold of it, which makes sense because they're all in the same camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Royce got hold of it, recorded it, voiced it, whatever. As the song comes out now, Eminem apparently said to Royce, "Yo, that's one of my favorite songs you did."
No way.
Like, so
he would have had it.
I'm like,
he would have had it.
You didn't even know that was for you.
That's crazy.
You know? So, but yeah, that's how that song came about. We was just jamming in the studio, and the genius that DJ Khalil is, I came up with an idea and a concept. Nikki came up with the hook. The guys came up with some of the keys parts and everything. And we just gave it to Khalil, and he took it all apart and put it back together.
Right.
And came up with that. I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy's to hear that and, you know, pull it apart and bring it back together. And that's how that song came about. So yeah.
Big,
crazy.
Big Royce the 5'9", big MC, big rapper.
Yeah.
Introduce this one for us, DREADY.
Yeah, this is Royce the 5'9", song called Cocaine.
Love that, my bro. So, like I said, influential records, Firestarr, DREADY in the building. And we're going to do what we came here for. You know what I mean? Influential records.
Oh,
I like putting people on the spot because really and truly, music people, they can never really pick 3 or 4 records, you know, because our minds
are very difficult.
So it's like a bit of an on the spot one, but that's how we like it because, you know, that's what we're here to do. So let's jump into influences, bro. I want you to pick, like I said, let's do 4 records that, you know, can be something that you remember listening to growing up, and there's no bounds to the genres, the selection.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because my music palette is wild.
Love that.
Like, I listen to records that people wouldn't even think of. Like, okay, let me start with some obvious ones. In terms of records that really influenced me and slapped me in the face the first time I heard it, I remember hearing Busta Rhymes' "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See" for the first time.
We got to have a Busta.
Do you remember
in there.
that when that?
We got to have a Busta in there, cuz. Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness! When that first came out, I was like, first of all, who is this? What? Because I didn't know it was him at first. I obviously knew who he was, but he never rapped like that before, so calm and collected. So that is definitely up there for me. Another influential record for me, Bounty Killer, Anytime.
Okay.
That record there, like, you have to look at Bounty Killer's career and understand what that record means and what it did for him at that point. It just changed his, not changed, but it just kind of put the stamp in, like, oh, this guy's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, so Bounty Killer, Anytime. Third record. Jesus Christ. Stevie Wonder, Ribbon in the Sky.
Okay. Why have you
absolute classic.
Okay.
Like, yeah, there's nothing to be said. You just put it on. Just put it on. People watch it. Just go Google it and put it on.
No, we're going to run it in the episode. That's what we do. We play the tune.
Yeah. Just let it run. 5. Four. Sorry, I can't even count. I'm trying to pick one that's not so obvious. And then there's one that I can't remember who sings the song. That's annoying to me.
Oh, man. It's
at the tip of my tongue. There's a song called Golden Brown.
Okay.
It's an old song, Golden Brown. I don't remember who sings it, but that song is absolutely insane to me. The time signatures of the music, the simplicity of it, the melody, crazy. And then last, I'm sorry, I'm going to have another one. That's Bob Marley, Natural Mystic. Probably one of the best reggae songs. I could go, we could go on.
I know. I know. The way you're rolling.
We could go on for days. Brandy, What About Us? That's another one that just lashed me. But yeah, I could be here for hours, bro.
I'll tell you what, let's, we got those selections. Let me ask you a specific question on a selection, because I don't think you picked one from the UK. Give me one. Give me a record from the UK that part of your life that comes to mind.
That's easy. Roots Maneuver, Witness to Fitness.
Okay.
That's no brainer. That is one of my favorite UK songs ever.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of them. I could the Jazzy B stuff, Soul to Soul, all that stuff is incredible.
What was it about Roots? Go on, sorry.
Roots was just, it was just raw.
Yeah, that record.
It was just I remember hearing that come on and thinking, the disrespect, like, it was just so raw.
Such a bounce, so
unapologetic. The beat.
Yeah, man.
Because you know what it is as well about that song? I have to explain to people. That beat is separate, first of all. The beat is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting when you hear a hard beat, how the artist is going to manage the beat. Yeah. And Roots just came on and just glided over that beat. And I was like, yes, literally perfection to me.
Yeah, I remember that record loudly, because
that was loud.
We were playing that as a main banger in the club set, because it was that heavy. And that's, a lot of people, they won't maybe understand that back then. UK music is not what it was now, as a DJ. We was rocking with the US fully. That's what we were playing, unless we was playing dancehall, obviously, as well. But US rap was what was cutting through.
And that's my thing as well, like, because that's all the radio would play. So when you heard UK music, it was under the chance. That's why most of my influences is outside.
Of course.
That shaped my life. But then when you started to finally get a piece of what's going on in the UK with Soul to Soul and Beverly Knight and Lynn and David Hall and all these amazing artists, Jamelia and all these guys, it's like, oh, we have got some stuff going on here. You get what I'm saying? But the outlets, it's not like today where I've got 30 million songs in my pocket.
Yeah.
We had to rely on, radio and
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm making myself sound real old right now.
Brother, I say it all the time when I have people on. Like when I had the Fanatix on, they took me back to when I did the first Influential Records episode. One of my favorite records of all time was Banned from TV, produced by Swizz, right? Yeah, but Nori. And they picked, Dro picked Super Thug, obviously, from the Neptunes.
Classics.
And we were talking about just the era of Radio 1 rap show, play and record tape decks, or listening to West.
Yeah, you had to know when to listen.
That's the only way we was hearing it. If you wanted to listen to that tune again during the week, mate, you had to hit record on that tape deck and be running it back,
Facts.
Some people won't even know what we're talking about.
They won't even, a tape? What's a tape? Like, it's all facts. You're right. 1,000%.
Crazy. Okay, so bro, like, we got some selections there. Obviously, I want to salute you for coming onto the episode, but before I let you bounce, I want you to let the people know and even let me know what you're working on, bro. Like, what's coming?
Let me see what I can talk about.
Give us something, because I know.
When is this episode dropping?
Probably a couple weeks. So.
Okay, so it'll be out
2 weeks.
by then.
Let's say
so,
2. 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. Okay, it will be out by then, so I can talk about it. I currently just finished helping do the music for the Oscars.
Oh my gosh!
I was so glad when I got that call, and so glad it came through.
What does that look like, or what does that mean? Like the music, as in they've got.
Bro, I don't know. It's just wild.
It's not a soundtrack. It's not a soundtrack you can.
Okay, so what happens is in the Oscars they have this segment where they remember the people that passed. Right? They have that segment in the Oscars, but because of COVID and everything else, that list is unfortunately long. Yeah. So the guy that's helping put that together asked me to help him do that segment. Okay. So I helped do a piece of that segment, but just to say that I did the music for the Oscars is absolutely nuts to me. And it's another one of those moments where I'm looking back like, rah.
That's a huge honor.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, so I did that. I've been doing a lot of TV stuff. I just, can I talk about this? Yeah, I just did a movie as well.
Okay.
I just helped score a movie. I'm not going to tell you the movie just yet. Right. I don't even think it has a working title yet, but it's almost ready. Big actors in it too. It's a proper thing. Cool. So I've been more into that. I've been licensing my music. I licensed some music for Yo MTV Raps that's coming back. Yep. I've been doing a lot of TV stuff. I had like several Netflix shows and stuff like that. But on the artist regular side, obviously I'm always working with Chip. Yep. We've been in the lab getting stuff together. Right.
Chip never stops working, I think, as well.
It doesn't stop. So it's obvious that that's still happening. You know what I mean? So it doesn't stop. But on the US front, who can I talk about that I'm working with? Nah, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to leave it at that. Put it this way. I am so fortunate, so blessed, and I thank God every day that I still get these calls, bro. People still reach out to me, and all the top US artists and acts and people that we respect, because I know your music, right? Yeah. People that we respect somehow manage to reach out to me
and have that respect for you, which is
call me. So
man.
I'm currently doing like 4 projects right now, which I'm not gonna. So I want to talk about it. But we'll just do a part 2.
100%. And for the people locked in, you got to listen out for the tag. Us music people would be listening to that, waiting for that drop. Then we know what's really going on.
What's going on? But
yeah, my bro, I want to big you up for coming on the episode.
Thanks for having me, man.
For me, someone that I hail up, being from Birmingham, being from the UK, and making the transition and being global and repping all aspects. You know what I mean? And you're heavy in the game, bro. So it's only even more success. So I want to thank you for coming on,
man.
Bro.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me, man.